I was thinking about, what should I say? Hi, how's it going? Good to see you. Like, subscribe, share. Whatever platform it's on, go to my other platforms and see how I am there, whatever. Anyway, I was thinking about the whole global warming thing, climate change, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm 52 years old. This is my 53rd year on the planet, right? I'll be 53 in the fall. But when in the 70s and 80s, maybe mid 80s, they started changing the talk, right? Because we became anti energy, like oil, things of that nature. But we can't have nuclear power, right? But so we're supposed to go renewables, this and that, because it costs more money and people own this, whatever. But in the 70s and even in the 80s and before that, in the 60s and 50s, scientists were convinced we were about to go through a mini ice age. And to prove it, the blizzard of 78, they were like, blizzard of 78, did you see all that snow? That's proof we're having a mini ice age, And I can tell you this much, right? Every year, literally more people die from being exposed to the cold than to the heat. Let me say that again. I understand that that's a very uncomfortable truth, right? But more people die of cold exposure than heat exposure, right? I'm not saying that heat exposure or dehydration isn't a bad thing, but you're more likely to die from freezing to death, right? Especially if you live outdoors. That's why in the winter months, that's why they count the homeless in February, right? To see who's actually still on the street, who can't find a place indoors, right? So that's why you see the outreach people out in the streets in the wintertime, giving out blankets, hot food, hot beverages, whatever it is, right? Hand warmers, taking them into to shelters that have heaters, right? Even if they don't have room at the shelters, the alleged shelters, right? Temporary housing, which is terrible, but better than being outside. Maybe from the homeless people I've talked to, maybe it isn't sometimes. But anyway, when it's that cold, they'll open up halls and, schools and gymnasiums and heat them up, right? I know they have cooling centers in the summer too, but that's in like really hot climates, right? But for the most part, you don't see them out on the streets in the spring and summer handing out little electric fans or even handheld fans or taking clothing away from them because it's too hot. They might give out water, but there's a lot less risk of dying from warm weather than cold weather. Yes, we can talk about, water levels rising places and this and that, but we just, they just were talking about in California for the last 10, 15 years. Oh, it's a drought. And now, just because of this weather that's been coming in, all the rain, the torrential downpours and the flooding, now they're like, well, we gotta be prepared for way more flooding in California's region nowadays because of climate change. But I thought they were losing water because of climate change. The climate changes. So does the topography of the planet. Some places that are lush now were deserts in the past. And some places that are deserts now were lush in the past. You know what humans are really good at? Air conditioning and heating. If we didn't freaking shoot ourselves in the foot with these bullshit energy policies, I'm not saying, hey, let's go around the planet and pollute and this and that. No, that's not what I'm saying. Yes, clean air, clean water, and clean soil is a good fucking idea, right? Of course it is. But what I'm saying is until we can switch to some other power source other than gasoline, oil, whatever you want to call it, coal, natural gas, all that, right? Petrochemicals, right? Hydrocarbon chemicals. Then we're gonna need them for the time being, you know. Oil, pound for pound, ounce for ounce, you know, gallon for gallon, packs the most energy punch price comparison. I mean, towards almost anything, you know. They won't let us talk about nuclear, you know, they're terrified of that, and they terrified the rest of us about it, you know. If we're gonna talk, you know, smartly about energy policy, it needs to be all hands on deck. Sure, solar, wind power, sure, when need be, you know, hydroelectric, sure, thermal electric, sure, great, nuclear power, sure, awesome, you know, fission, fusion, but whatever we need to do, we should be developing that, you know. We should be developing a little bit of all of that. We can't put all of our eggs in the basket of, well, you know, if America and the West starts using solar panels and wind power, we'll be fine. That's not true. It's not true. You know what I mean? The third world, Asia and Latin America, you know, we can't tell them that they can't use cheap energy. You know what I mean? We did it for you know, a couple centuries now at least, and you know, I mean, people have to be uplifted. You know, we got to figure this out together rather than, nope, you can't do that. You know, people don't respond good to that shit. You know, I said it before in other videos, but like, the planet's gonna be okay. You know, we should worry about ourselves more than the planet. You know, polluting waters, polluting the air, polluting the ground, and growing crap crops that, you know, and eating processed food. It's not good for us. You know, it's not good for anybody. But you know, they're trying to scare us in all kinds of directions. You know, and it just creates more separatism. You know, it really does. I'm just, you know, it's another scare tactic. You know, nobody can see what's going on. I mean, I know some people can, a lot of people can, but you know, I've always been called a crackpot as other people, and then I even tried to conform. I was like, all right, I'll stop watching alternative stuff. I'll start believing the freaking narrative. But when the narrative from the party that you're mostly comfy with, you know, becomes like nonsensical, and like it always seems like it's a title from The Onion, I think it's time to move on. You know, so I had to start listening to independent voices, and you know, the Gray Zone, Redacted, Revolutionary, Blackout, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you know, the Useful Idiots, you know, Abby Martin, George Galloway, all kinds of people, Jimmy Dore. You know, I'm just saying, you know, the more that we can relate on working class lines, that's the only way we're gonna fix anything. The Democratic Party isn't gonna fix it. The Republican Party isn't gonna fix it. Even if some of them are kind of talking some sense here and there, that's okay. I can coalesce with them on that stuff, right? But the other craziness got to go. Same thing with the left, you know, or the alleged left. You know, they're all corporate right now. You know what I mean? Both parties are corporate right. You're gonna tell me the squad's doing anything? They're not doing anything. At least the Freedom Caucus or whatever they're called, Matt Gaetz and them, they got some concessions. You know what I mean? Why didn't the squad do that with Aunt Nancy? You know what I mean? They didn't do shit. But hey, that's neither here nor there, right? Don't worry about the global warming. We'll figure it out. You know, people are going to just move to different areas. You know, we might have to get off the oceans. I don't know. Or maybe we could figure some shit out with technology. Probably. But yeah, I don't know. Have a good day, everybody. Don't worry so much. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, the kids are all stressed out from global. Why? Why you keep stressing them the fuck out? Tell them if everything's going to be okay. We've been on the precipice of destruction since fucking day one. Don't worry about it. It can all end tomorrow from an asteroid. We're on a fucking organic freaking spaceship traveling through whatever the fuck we're like, come on, man. It's already ridiculous enough, man. You think it's gonna last forever? It ain't. We're only alive for a little bit of time. We've already been dead as if they think the universe is 14 billion years old, right? We've already been dead for that long. So don't even worry about it. Don't sweat it. We've been there. We've done that. We're going back. Peace.